Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome to more Rebel Inc. Escalation with our Mega Brutal Guide series. So I'm a bit late on the draw on this one, admittedly. This kind of was a thing that came out while I was unavailable, and then I tried playing with it, and it turned out to be really hard, and I got frustrated, and then I just kind of put it aside, and then enough time passed that it felt kind of embarrassing to go back to it now. But with the latest DLC being released, I do want to circle back to the Golden Sands map. This one is tough on Mega Brutal. There's really no way around it. The logistics and the roads of this map are particularly nasty. There's a lot of terrible terrain that you're going to have to fight around, and the insurgents are going to be very, very active. So it takes a bit of working, and it probably requires a bit of a different build order. The usual one that I follow doesn't really work. You have to focus more on roads and military units and containment early on to even have a chance. If you can do that, the extra money from some oil derricks ends up being a pretty valuable resource. Now, I do think this map gets a bit easier with some of the new advisors introduced in the new DLC. However, because I am not convinced that everyone watching this video has the newest DLC, I want to play this somewhat more vanilla so that you're able to actually follow along. Let's try playing with a smuggler. It's a tried and true Mega Brutal awesome governor, usually one of the better choices for a first time into a new scenario. As far as advisors, doctor, tribal elder, celebrity, realist, chef, and you could go with either the logistics expert or the tactician, or maybe the censor if you find that you're having a lot of issues with insurgents recapturing zones frequently. I'm going to try for the tactician in the hopes that reducing their numbers is going to give me a bit of an advantage for the containment purpose. And then as far as our operation name on Mega Brutal, Impending Snake? Sure, why not? Snake! That's a reference for those who don't know. Okay, so this is actually a really solid start right off the bat. So what you're really looking for are the 4 derricks and their placement to decide if you need to restart on this particular map. The trend that I have noticed is there's always a derrick in one of these 2 tiles, a derrick in one of these 2 tiles, a derrick in one of these 2 tiles, and then a 4th one that floats around, oftentimes hanging out in this area, sometimes hanging out over here. Ideally, you want it right here, exactly where it is right now. This is a good spot. The reason why is it lets me place my HQ right here in a position to defend a derrick, close to another derrick, and defend a city, and be in a really good central spot on the map where a lot of the roads start to join up, which means moving around, hopefully, will be a smidge easier. If the derrick spawns down here, I'm not going to say you couldn't win it. You could probably place your HQ kind of close by, but I think that this is probably the better start. So once you've got this start location, you can stop restarting the game. That's where I'd recommend you go ahead and pause and save so you don't have to waste your time. Okay, now, pausing. First thing you need to do, intel. Absolutely crucial, you get intel. Why? Because these oil derricks are going to be giving us a little bit of extra money, all right? I don't remember the exact amount they give you, but it's decent enough that it's not negligible. You only start getting money if there are 2 conditions met. 1, you have intel in the region, which is why we want to get those regional sensors as much as possible, and 2, there are no insurgents on this particular tile. So when the insurgents attack it, you want to defend it. Otherwise, the most important thing, get the intel, get that extra money rolling as fast as you can. Where you go from here can be a little bit up for debate. Normally, I would be going for things like effective procurements, and I'd be trying to get some services and education and stuff. However, because I know it takes a while to roll out some roads and logistics are absolutely critical on this map, I recommend trying to save up to go for a 1 level of all 3 roads early on. We'll start with both the dirt roads and the main roads. I'm going to be going for the interstates pretty soon as well. As we get more intel, I'll show you what the map looks like so you have a better idea what's more important. Basically, this stretch right here is all highways. That's kind of all you need it for. It really depends on if your insurgents spawn in this mountain range. If they do, you want to get the highways. If they do not, you could probably delay that a bit and just focus on main roads and dirt roads, and that will probably take care of you. Now, as far as where we want the insurgents to spawn, this might seem like a really good location, and it kind of is in the sense that it's a good number of mountain ranges that we can try to just keep them entrenched in for the rest of the map. However, it is going to be annoying in that you have to go all the way around the mountains for fast logistics with your soldiers. So you'll end up having to leave 1 in this area and 1 in this area at a minimum at pretty much all times, probably with a 3rd bouncing around as needed. If you're lucky, you get all of them spawned in this 1 mountain range, and you keep them there for the whole game. What's more likely to happen is you have someone over here, and then you have someone over here, and you have someone up over here. 2 or 3 different spots, all right? These mountains up over here always end up getting somebody. So if you're lucky, you get them in 1 spot. If not, you can still contain them. Just be prepared to have to go for some early camp hunting to try and limit the amount of damage they're able to do. You probably will have to go for 3 coalition soldiers early, maybe some national soldiers earlier than you would usually as well. The big problem here is, if you're focusing on a lot of infrastructure and military, guess what you're not doing? Focusing on stability. And if you're not focusing on stability, we all know you start losing a lot of reputation, and that becomes kind of a huge problem. Yes, yes, secure the oil must flow. I'm just waiting for intel. Give me 1 second. This one, there we go. Just got intel, you see it turned yellow, and now we are generating funds. If the insurgents take this, they get a lot stronger, so we cannot allow them to have these oil derricks. Now, one thing you can do that does help to some extent as far as getting some more stability is to go for a special ability here called Local Employment Drive. This significantly increases the support in the oil derrick zones, specifically. If you're lucky, and the insurgents are not attacking here very often, you might get this stabilized extra early, and just having 2 stable zones can prevent a lot of that stability loss. So it can be a very, very good thing. That said, it's not really reliable, so for $15, I kind of want to hold off on that, at least for a little bit. I'd rather go ahead and pick up my highways and maybe the outreach office and start rolling out some of these roads just a smidge faster. The better my response time is going to be, just the better my life is going to be, as a general rule. Notice corruption's gotten up pretty darn high, by the way, and that's because we never took the effective procurement. And I really probably should do that now, I guess, just to try and limit this a little bit. Remember, of course, playing as a smuggler, a little bit of corruption does tend to result in a little extra money, and that's nice and all, but, you know, anyway. I am expecting the insurgents to be firing off any second now. Still don't have intel in all the regions I want. Desperately need to be getting both of these oil derricks up and running. They should be just in a little bit, and there we go. Okay, so at the very least, I do have oil derricks in all of these locations. We do need to be getting things like, oh gosh, there's a lot of services people want. All right, let's go ahead and get some basic healthcare and some water going. We can't ignore that for too long. That is important. I did want to get things like some anti-corruption. We do need to get universal justice and a PR media office, but I also need to be ready to start buying up some coalition soldiers because these guys are firing off as of right now. See, and that's exactly what I was talking about. So the camp is here somewhere. We don't know where. It could be down over in this area, could be right up in this mountain range, honestly. And this is annoying because it's right next to 2 derricks, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's not hard to contain. You're just gonna be fighting over things all the dang time. An archaeological find. Oh, good lord. Right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and fund the excavation, but I don't really want to gain. I don't really care about the reputation right now. I would rather have the money, but I guess that's going to be all right. Let's go and start training up 2 coalition soldiers now. There they are. All right, so they fired right here. Camp's probably in the mountains. Could be also directly on the derrick. That wouldn't surprise me. Okay, definitely in the mountains now that I know they're fighting in the city. I don't like them fighting in the city. This is going to be terrible. Because what I want to do now is run over here and destroy the camp. But I have to defend the city because bad things are going to happen, and I have to defend the derrick because bad things are going to happen. So what I might do now is get a 3rd soldier, which I know is insane, and I would say we run in over here and try to destroy this camp. They're going to retreat up over here. I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything with this, to be honest. This is going to suck. All right, and there's another camp over here, actually. So let's go ahead and try to take this out, or we could just leave this as it is, honestly. I mean, really, as far as locations, if these end up being the 2 camps, then I can just probably have 3 units pretty much standing on the derricks at all times. And we might be okay, actually. I want to destroy the camp, but maybe this is the right way to go. Let's see if we can destroy this camp. Just destroy it, and if I have to pull out of the mountains later, that's fine. I just want to get rid of this. And then we're just going to let them keep this camp, and as long as a camp exists on the map, the AI has a lot longer time before they can place another one down, which means they're likely to just kind of keep to the areas they've already got controlled, rather than, let's say, we've got insurgents all over here, they have no camps on the map, and all of a sudden they spawn their next camp over here because it's far away. That can happen. That's really annoying. One thing that might help you a little bit in your goal to hold off the insurgents is to go for some early militia. I don't really love going for the militia because it's a little less support level, but it can work. Let's go for universal justice. I need to be getting things to that PR and media office. These guys retreating over here is exactly where I did not want them to go, so that's a problem. Let's retreat over here and defend this derrick. I'm going to let them keep this mountain. That's not a big deal. We do need to defend this derrick now. I need to get this zone back. Oh, good lord. Get the zone. Thank you. And now we have to go fighting these guys. Somehow I have to corral these guys back together. And this is where things start getting a little out of control. Once you have to start chasing 3 separate groups, that's pretty much where it's game over and you have to restart. But let me see if I can recover from this, all right? Let me see if I can recover. Let's get that PR and media office up and running. I do need some stability. People still want healthcare and water. Let's go for the water expansion. I'll go for the core healthcare in just a little bit. They're not asking for education, which I think is interesting, but that's fine, I guess. So now they're retreating up over here into the derrick again. They're going to get this thing. Let's get this zone. Come on. Get the zone, get the zone. There we go. Now we fight them over here. All right, we're defending this derrick. We push them back. That's good. Let's get over here, reinforce this, take this back. It's getting a little bit annoying, but it's all right. Coalition stop and search is causing anger. Always investigate further when you get this event because you never want to just choose one side or the other without knowing all of the information. That's how you get a lot of people angry. I really don't want the insurgents holding on to this. That is really, really bad, and I didn't want that to get to this point in the first place, but here we are. Let's get that core healthcare. I do want to get some education initiatives. I could also consider going for more roads, but for now I'm going for the basic low-hanging fruit when it comes to some support. So we should be able to fight this back. They're going to lose a lot of their stability or their support. That's good. So they're going to swarm this mountain. There's no way around that until I get some airstrikes. They're going to attack these two derricks all the time. That is going to happen. They'll probably attack this one frequently as well. But here's another trick that I can use. So there's another special ability here called Oil Lobbyist. Coalition units gain additional deployment time whenever they're in a zone with an oil derrick. What might happen is we end up just deploying these guys and letting my coalition soldiers basically sit here, and as much as we can anyway, and use my national soldiers to bounce around later if necessary. And in theory, these guys will stick around for a lot longer, therefore preserving your reputation and keeping your strongest units where you need them the most. I do worry a lot about our current corruption situation. I'd really like to burn some of that down. We could temporarily reduce it if I need to, but that seems risky. Going for the interpreters and guides would be helpful. Now, one problem is if we are going to be parking our units on the oil derricks, that's where this local employment drive suddenly becomes very unhelpful. Because your coalition soldiers are going to antagonize quite often, and therefore, even with this, you're not going to stabilize the zone. So it was $15, $16 that was effectively wasted. That's exactly what I'm hoping to avoid. People are apparently asking for security. Oh, man. Yeah, well, I mean, we could do that. How are we looking as far as some of these zones getting stabilized? We're running slow here. Haven't started losing a lot of reputation yet, but we're getting close to that point. Now, the insurgents firing here means there's probably another camp somewhere that I now need to worry about. So let's see if we can find that and crush it quickly. This is one more area that now I have to worry about because it's mega brutal difficulty, and that sucks. But so be it. Let's see where the heck that could... I have to go defend this derrick now because they're running over this direction too. Okay, I don't see a camp there. Maybe there's one over here. Not seeing the question mark anywhere. The intel's not helping me here. It could be in the mountains directly. It looks like it might be. We can try fighting over this. If nothing else, destroy the camp so they don't keep spawning more, and then back off. And that might be the way to go. Let them keep the mountains so they feel like they want to stay in one place. Because we're not going to be able to hunt these guys down, surround them, and kill them. Not without a lot more units. So yeah, maybe that's the way to go. Let's get some anti-corruption. At least one level. I'm going to go for some policing. That's going to make it harder for the insurgents to take over some of these zones. Plus, it's going to meet at least 3 different zones' needs. So that's good. We are defending the derricks, so things are looking good. We got a stable zone. All right, so the lack of stability is going to be pushed off just a bit longer. That's good. Yes, I know. These people are angry. Still not seeing any sign of a camp. And this surprises me. They did something where they were able to get people up over here, but I see no evidence of a camp. Huh. All right, well, I don't think it's worth fighting over here, actually. I think it's worth pulling back, but this is weird and not what I expected. Let's go and defend the city. That's way more important right now. The sandworms, a local delicacy harvested for their spicy flavor, are in danger of losing their habitat. What a wonderful Dune reference. Okay, well, we're going to rescue these guys. This greatly increases support level for, like, the entire map, I believe. So it is good. It is definitely a good thing to have. We like it. Okay, we're going to fight over this city. I have to defend my HQ, but that shouldn't take more than a second, as we just rather not lose the stability if we can avoid it. These guys are running into the mountains, and this is going to be a thing. They will join up these 3 zones, but honestly, that's not going to be enough connected zones for me to feel very scared of these insurgents, and we shouldn't lose a lot of reputation. This is actually a somewhat okay position we're in right now. And if you find yourself, when you're in a good position, again, don't be sad, just having to save. That's not a bad plan. What are people wanting beyond that? Nothing that I can see at the moment. We can start training up some more units, but I really need more anti-corruption. Corruption sucks for a number of different reasons. In this case, it is actually reducing my overall support by 30% as well. So the more we reduce our corruption, the more this support becomes impactful. So it can make a difference. It can. Let's run over here and defend this oil derrick. Both of them, actually. This is going okay. They're attacking this one as well. This is the distraction I don't want to have to deal with. where I pull off the derricks, and all of a sudden they're attacking me because of this small little group. But again, as long as they don't have a camp over here and they're not increasing their numbers, this isn't a big deal. They're really swarming this area. That's kind of what I expected, but there you go. So let's fight over this. Okay, we're having some issues as far as reinforcements. This is where I need to pull a unit back and move them over here, or we could go for the airstrikes, and that wouldn't be a bad plan either. Let's get some of that anti-corruption, and let's go for some national soldiers. We could cut corners and reduce their strength and make it a lot faster for us to get these units. I don't love doing this, but it can be a good idea, especially when what we really want are reinforcements for our units. So we're going to try for that. Let's move you over here because I know they're about to attack. Yes, they've got too many connected zones now because they were able to grab the oil derrick. Can we please take this back? It's having a little issue. Tell you what, it's time for airstrikes. Let's see if we can bomb this a little faster. Come on, take this back. I can't let them have connected zones. You got to get this. Okay, they're just bringing a lot of people over here now and being annoying, aren't they? It's exactly what they're doing. They're being really annoying. We have to go for the Foreign Relations Office now. I can't let them have this city, so we've got to go defend this. They're still going for the oil derrick. Oh, lordy. This is where you want to have more units. If we need to get more coalition soldiers, we can do that, but I'd really rather not. I'm going to send a national soldier over here, mostly just to delay these guys, and hopefully that makes some sort of a difference. Coalition soldiers coming to an end soon, and guys spawning over here. Means there's probably a camp over here. Of course, I mean, there wasn't last time over here too, but I mean, it could happen. Let's see if we can possibly run in here and attack this mountain, pushing these guys into one corner where it's going to be a lot easier for me to surround and kill this off. This might be a way of clearing out this group so I can stay entrenched where I want to be. And it wouldn't be a bad plan to get garrisons at this point as well. Garrisons, actually, it's a great location. I'll take it. This garrison should, well, actually, I wanted to force these guys over here, didn't I? That may not work anymore. All right, forget that. Pull back over here, I guess. We need more units somehow. And we need to defend this oil derrick, and now we need to defend our HQ, because of course we do. Good lord, you guys are being so annoying, you stupid insurgents. But we did actually manage to kill some as they attacked, and now they're going to attack this derrick, and these guys are left alone. Right. Good lord. All right, more coalition soldiers it is then. When in doubt, more units, not a bad plan. How are we doing as far as reputation? Surprisingly, the lack of stability is fine. Insurgent activity is fine. Corruption's a problem. But this is an acceptable bleed so far. We're not in danger yet. We do want to do one long extension here. We might do one more on another unit, and that's kind of all I think I can afford to do. So we're going to defend up over here. These guys are surrounded. I'm going to do one more long extension with you. Trying to reinforce here. I do want to kill these guys off. I need all of my units, basically, to get rid of this group. Almost all of them, anyway, which is a bit of a problem. But let's just go ahead and clear these things out. Protests over lack of jobs. No one's complaining about a lack of jobs. You're all lying to me. I'm just going to say that right now. You're lying to me. We could go for some more anti-corruption, or we could try to go for more units. I think we need to go for more units, but then after that, I probably am going to do a corruption purge, just kind of keep this under control. The more national soldiers we get at this point, obviously, the better our lives are going to be. Getting this oil derrick back right about now, that's good. I want to surround and kill these guys. I know they're moving over here. That's taken care of. Excellent. Move you here, move you here. And then we have to go defend this over here, and we have to negotiate. Dang it, but that's all right. All right, fine. Lose some reputation. That's horrible, actually. So now we're in danger. But if we can stabilize a few more zones, we're okay. Keep these guys under control. We're all right. We're all right. Somehow there's a million enemies up in this mountain, which means they probably have a camp up over here now, and their numbers have increased drastically. Right. All right. So, okay. We now need to get units dropped off over here to defend here. You, unfortunately, are going to have to go home, but the good news is we just got a replacement unit in time, so that's not a huge deal. We're defending over here now. These guys are pushed out of the mountains. Not a big deal, but there we go. Let's apply some more subtle pressure. Okay, we're scrambling just a little bit, and this is where I start to get nervous. If we can keep stabilizing zones, we're okay. And there aren't any new demands to worry about, so far that's fine. We didn't end up getting the oil lobbyist. I wish we had. Let's do that now, and let's see if that makes a difference as far as keeping some of these coalition units in place a little bit longer. Okay, garrison location right over here is actually going to be really helpful. I do like that. Do a little cover-up action over there. Never say you did anything wrong, and people will never know, hopefully. Yeah, I'm ready to purge down some of this corruption to get the support up a bit more. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get corruption level 4 there. And let's get the strategic communications, and let's start training up another national soldier. We're going to need more units. It's just a simple way of things. All it's going to take is... Oh, I see a camp, actually. Hold on, I was about to say. All it's going to take is a moment where these guys suddenly spawn behind my lines, and we're going to have to start playing catch-up, and that's going to be very unfun. We'll threaten these guys and start farming at reputation. Now's a very good time to do that, because we're pretty low, and more reputation obviously just means I stay in the game a lot longer. So this is the time where we start staunching the bleeding and getting back into the action. Now, of course, we have to defend the city. This is actually a little bit too far away. Let's send the coalition unit instead. Come on, get rid of this camp quickly before it spawns anything, if you please. I don't think that's asking for too much. Okay, we did manage to get rid of that. What do you know? Turns out it wasn't asking for too much. It was actually completely doable. But I really want to park my coalition units on the oil derricks if possible. Let's do a quick purge, and let's get the local police expansion. That should make it just a little bit easier for me to prevent the insurgents from taking over zones whenever they run into it. It gives me a lot more response time, and then there's a chance, like, if little tiny groups pop up later, it's not going to be a major threat. I want to get rid of this group just because they're annoying me, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that. It kind of depends. We need to get a little help on this city. The city's struggling. Our national soldiers are not exactly strong right now because we did kind of cut corners. We can do some national arms upgrades and stuff, and that obviously helps. Oop, we got to pop it back over here again. Never mind. They were sitting in the HQ. Okay. We're going to surround here, and let's see if we can just go for a quick kill. I just want to get rid of this group. It's annoying me. I don't like it. One coalition soldier hopefully can deal with this, but there's a lot of insurgents in the red over here. Like, a lot of them all hiding. Let's get the interpreters and guides so we stop antagonizing the locals. And I'm going to get the local employment drive now, because if we're going to keep these guys here, I do want to stabilize these zones, but now that they're not antagonizing the locals as much, we actually have a chance of getting these 3 zones to stabilize a lot faster, and that's going to be very valuable to me. So, yeah, can you guys please, like, hurry up and get over here, for God's sake? You guys are so slow. High desertion rates. Always increase the pay if you've got the money. That's usually a good option. Just makes these guys stronger. It's a good event to get, actually, because having stronger units is always nice. There we go. Cleared that out. All right. So let's leave you here, and then my national soldiers are mostly going to try to stabilize some key areas of the map. If we can use the 3 soldiers just to hold this, you can be like our floater, for example, or maybe you will. We'll keep you guys here, and let's go ahead and get the civil integration and start rolling out a lot more initiatives. I want to clear these areas out of the map to guarantee no new camps spawn here or in these mountains, and as long as that happens, we should be golden for pretty much the rest of this scenario. Is there anything else I really want besides like a corruption purge so I can stop losing so much of my support? I don't know. How about national travel logistics, because my national soldiers move very, very slowly. You spawned a camp right underneath my coalition guards? The audacity of this. Wow, all right. Anyway, yeah, no, we want to get these zones stabilized as quick as we can, and having these units in place should help. Let's threaten again, get a little bit more reputation, still hovering around 25. With any luck, that's a good garrison location, we should be able to get ourselves back up close to 100 by the end of this scenario. This zone's going to stabilize soon. These 2 are actively being worked on thanks to these guys, so they'll be done soon too. Yeah, we're in a good spot all of a sudden. We're in a much, much, much better spot. Let's get one more round of national soldiers just to be safe. You know, I can't keep any more of these coalition guys if they leave me. So I do want to be able to have some extra guys on the ground. Let's stabilize this city. This place is about to be taken care of on its own. We shouldn't have any issues unless a camp spawns at the last second. Okay, now we systematically just start moving across the map, and we get a lot of stability. And then once these guys are all stabilized, we go for the kill. Okay, now we're able to start splitting these guys, which means it's going to be a lot easier to go for said kill, and actually, we can do that now. Let's go ahead and move these national soldiers up into this area. If we can crush this mountain, that means we'll be good. All we have to do is stabilize 1 or 2 more zones, and then we just take this one, and we win. Locals demand oil proceeds. Try to increase the share if you can. Yeah, that's a lot of extra corruption and some money, but it's a pretty huge amount of zone support, guaranteeing these guys never become a problem. That said, this zone was already stable, so I guess it didn't matter, but whatever. Let's try to talk to these guys, because I want to start working toward that peace deal. That's a nice, big crushed group right there. I love what I'm seeing there. If we can move you here now, and you here now, that should pretty much be it, and they're going to have nowhere to go. Unless they decide to spawn a new camp in a stabilized zone, and I'm not going to say that can't happen. It just doesn't seem to happen very often, so I'm going to count on that being the case. Crush this group. Okay, this guy actually wanting to leave me right now is really unfortunate timing, because now I have to move you here, and they're probably going to spawn a camp immediately in this area, but with enough support, I think we're still fine. Let's just keep working down some of the peace deal process. I mean, we could just sit on this and farm it for a bit and try to get 10 extra reputation periodically. Okay, now I have to worry about this being attacked, which is annoying. They're probably going to run into this corner, but that's not a big deal. tighten the rules for civilian deaths and stuff. Get these guys to run up into this corner unless we run up here first. Okay. And there's the desperate attack. That can happen. All right, when they have nowhere to go, sometimes you get tiny groups that spawn. But with enough security, right, as long as the group is small, then in theory, we should be able to handle this, maybe? Well, I guess we have to start rejecting the deal and start farming out some reputation now, which sucks. These guys are going to retreat into both the mountains and the city. Oh, good. But actually, the fact that they split themselves means that this one insurgent shouldn't be able to survive. The police should be able to take care of them eventually. We might have to chase these guys down a little bit. We got a little time to sit back, and we'll be okay. I take it back. They spawn another camp. Holy crud! How did you guys get so many insurgents? That's not fair. Gosh dang it, I hate it when they do this. This is practically cheating. It's fine, I just have to be patient. Now I have to sit back and just wait until we've stabilized these 3 zones, because this is a really big group to have to surround and crush. Unless we can force them into a better position, but to be honest, there's not much better around here. This is just gonna suck for a while. There we go, we can force them down into this corner, and now we should be able to go for the kill. Just gotta reposition down over here, hopefully before these guys get in a bad area like that. They're running over here, and they're dead. Excellent, all right, now we win. Let's just get that peace deal. All right, and we win on the Golden Sands. It's a pretty tough map. There's just no way around it. You're going to have to restart several times, but it's okay if you are persistent and you get lucky with the oil derrick placement and you're not afraid to save whenever things seem to be going well so you can keep trying again and again and again. Eventually, you'll get this scenario down. Just make sure you change up that build order. Don't go for the stuff I normally do with the effective procurement and the education initiatives and so on. It is absolutely critical you go for roads early and then get as many military units as you need in order to make sure you have a successful containment. If you can do that, everything becomes a heck of a lot easier. So that's the main map done, and officially I once again have all of the maps beat on Mega Brutal. A little bit late on that one, but that's okay. Hopefully you'll forgive me. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.